Let me ask you something, and I want you to be honest with yourself. Have you ever seen an older man, successful, quiet, even well-dressed, yet women instinctively feel uncomfortable around him? Not scared, not impressed, just off. Here's the uncomfortable truth. It's not his age, it's not his looks, and it's definitely not masculinity. It's 3 subtle behaviors that flip a switch in a woman's brain and instantly label him as creepy instead of grounded. Today, I'm breaking down those 3 behaviors, and more importantly, I'll explain how real Stoic masculinity is supposed to work, because most men get it dangerously wrong. Stay with me, because behavior number 3 is the one almost every alpha content creator accidentally teaches, and women quietly run from it. If you've ever wondered why silence sometimes attracts women and sometimes repels them, you're about to understand why. Before we dive deeper, a quick message. If you've been learning from my videos and you want to support this work, you can subscribe to me on Facebook with a paid membership, send stars, or join my YouTube channel's paid community. Your support helps me create more powerful content for you, and I truly appreciate every bit of it. All right, now let's continue. Behavior number 1, emotional silence without emotional safety. Let's start with the biggest misconception. A lot of older men hear this advice: be stoic. Be quiet, don't talk too much. So they shut down emotionally. They stop expressing warmth. They stop reacting naturally. They stop showing emotional presence. And in their minds, they think this looks powerful. But here's how it lands on a woman's nervous system. She doesn't feel calm. She feels watched. There's a massive psychological difference between a man who is emotionally contained and a man who is emotionally absent. Real stoicism isn't emotional starvation. It's emotional control with presence. When an older man goes quiet but offers no emotional cues, no warmth in his eyes, no relaxed reactions, no grounded energy, a woman's brain starts filling in the gaps. And her brain doesn't assume confidence. It assumes suppressed intention. That's when silence becomes threatening instead of attractive. This is why some men say almost nothing, yet women feel completely safe with them, while others say nothing and create instant tension. Women subconsciously ask one question: is this man calm, or is he holding something back? If she can't feel emotional safety, stoicism turns into eeriness. Think about it this way. When you're in an elevator with a stranger who's completely silent, staring straight ahead, no expression on his face, your body tenses slightly, doesn't it? Now imagine that same elevator ride with someone who's quiet, but glances over with a brief, relaxed smile. Maybe a small nod acknowledging your presence, then goes back to being still. Same silence, completely different feeling. That's the difference between emotional absence and emotional presence. The first man makes you wonder what he's thinking. The second man communicates that he's simply comfortable in his own skin. True Stoic masculinity says, I feel everything. I just don't let it control me. Fake stoicism says, I feel nothing, and you should be impressed. Women can tell the difference instantly. And here's what most men miss. Emotional safety isn't created through words alone. It's created through microsignals. The slight relaxation around your eyes when you listen, the natural rhythm of your breathing, the way your body doesn't stiffen when she moves closer or further away. These signals tell a woman, this man is regulated. He's not performing. He's not suppressing. He's genuinely at peace. Without those signals, your silence becomes a void. And voids are terrifying because women's imaginations fill them with threat. Behavior number 2, uncalibrated intensity. Now this one is subtle and very dangerous. Older men often carry intensity. Life experience does that. But intensity without calibration feels predatory. Here's what I mean. Sustained eye contact, low voice, minimal movement, long pauses. On paper, this sounds masculine. In reality, without warmth, timing, and social awareness, it feels like pressure. Women don't fear intensity. They fear unexplained intensity. If your presence feels heavier than the situation requires, her instincts activate. She starts scanning for exits. This is why some men think they're being dominant, while women feel like they're being interrogated. Let me give you a specific example. You're at a coffee shop. A woman makes casual conversation about the weather. One man responds with matching energy, light, brief, maybe a small laugh, then naturally returns to his coffee. Another man locks eyes, leans in slightly, speaks in a deliberately measured tone, holds the pause a beat too long after she finishes speaking. Same words, maybe, completely different impact. The second man is bringing intensity to a moment that calls for lightness. And what does that communicate to her? This man doesn't understand context. He's operating from a script. He can't adjust. Stoic masculinity is flexible. It expands in social spaces. It softens in casual moments. It sharpens only when necessary. But creepy masculinity is rigid. Same tone, same stare, same seriousness, everywhere. That tells a woman, this man doesn't read the room. And when a man can't read emotional environments, women don't feel safe being emotionally expressive around him. Think about the difference between a skilled musician and someone just learning. The beginner plays every note with the same force, the same timing, no variation. The skilled musician understands dynamics, when to pull back, when to emphasize, when to let silence breathe. Social calibration works exactly the same way. You need to know when to be present and when to give space, when to engage and when to let a moment pass, when your energy should fill the room and when it should recede. Calibrated intensity attracts, uncalibrated intensity alarms. And here's the test most men fail. If you bring the same energy to every interaction, whether it's with a young woman, an elderly person, a child, a male friend, you're not being authentically masculine. You're performing a role. And women can sense performance from a mile away. Behavior number 3. Sexual awareness without social permission. This is the one nobody wants to talk about. Older men often notice women more. They've lived. They understand attraction. But awareness without restraint becomes leakage. Lingering glances, micro-smirks, slightly delayed responses, energy that says, I'm evaluating you. Here's the problem. Women don't mind being desired. They mind being assessed without consent. When sexual awareness shows up before emotional rapport, it triggers discomfort, not because she's offended, but because her brain says, this man is skipping steps. Attraction isn't about hiding desire. It's about when you reveal it. Let me be extremely clear about this. Sexual attraction is natural. Noticing beauty is human. The problem isn't that you find her attractive. The problem is when you let her know you're sexualizing her before she's invited that level of attention. It's the difference between noticing she's beautiful and continuing the conversation naturally versus noticing she's beautiful and letting your eyes drift, your smile change, your energy shift into assessment mode. That shift is what creeps women out because it communicates, I've already decided what I want from you. Now I'm just waiting for an opening. True Stoic masculinity delays gratification. It allows attraction to develop organically. It doesn't rush to claim space in her mind or body. Creepy behavior tries to shortcut intimacy, and women are biologically wired to detect shortcuts. The moment she feels like you're imagining outcomes instead of enjoying the moment, her attraction collapses. Here's a framework that might help. Imagine every interaction has layers. Surface layer, basic human acknowledgement. Second layer, friendly social exchange. Third layer, personal connection and rapport. Fourth layer, flirtation and attraction. Fifth layer, sexual interest. Most men who come across as creepy jump from layer 1 to layer 5. They skip the building blocks. And when you skip steps, women's nervous systems register it as boundary violation. Even if you haven't done anything overtly inappropriate, it's the energy, the intention, the premature sexualization. Real attraction builds layer by layer, and a mature Stoic man understands this implicitly. He's patient, not because he's hiding his desire, but because he values the journey. He knows that attraction deepened through conversation, laughter, and genuine connection is infinitely more powerful than attraction forced through intensity. Why women react this way? Dark psychology. Here's the deeper layer most men never hear. Women don't consciously analyze creepiness. Their nervous system does. It's ancient. A man who feels unpredictable, emotionally unreadable, or socially misaligned registers as risk. An attraction cannot exist alongside perceived risk. Think about it from an evolutionary perspective. For thousands of years, women's survival depended on accurately reading male intention. Is this man safe? Is he stable? Can I trust him not to harm me? These aren't conscious thoughts. They're pre-verbal, gut-level assessments happening in milliseconds. And the signals women scan for are incredibly specific. Does his emotional expression match the context? Can I predict his reactions? Does he respect social boundaries? When any of these signals misalign, her body responds before her mind catches up. That's why you can do everything right on paper, be successful, well-groomed, polite, and still trigger discomfort, because her nervous system is reading something your behavior is broadcasting. That's why men who are quieter but emotionally grounded win. That's why warmth amplifies masculinity. That's why restraint beats intensity. If you fix this next mindset shift, your age stops mattering completely. What Stoic masculinity really is. Let me redefine this clearly. Stoic masculinity is not coldness. It's regulated power. It's the ability to be relaxed without being passive, present without being needy, interested without being invasive. A Stoic man doesn't suppress emotion. He contains it gracefully, and women feel that immediately. Think of it like this. A dam doesn't eliminate water. It channels it, controls it, releases it when appropriate. That's what emotional regulation looks like. You feel anger, but you don't lash out. You feel desire, but you don't impose it. You feel sadness, but you don't collapse into it. You acknowledge the emotion. You let it move through you, but you remain the one in control. This is what women find magnetic about truly Stoic men. Not that they don't feel, but that they feel deeply and remain solid. There's a groundedness to them. A woman can express herself fully around them, be emotional, be playful, be vulnerable, because she knows he won't be destabilized by it. That's the safety that creates attraction, and it has nothing to do with age. I've seen 25-year-old men with this quality, and 60-year-old men without it. It's not about years, it's about self-mastery. If women seem uncomfortable around you, it's not because you're older. It's because something in your energy says, I'm holding something I don't know how to place. Fix presence, fix calibration, fix timing, and attraction follows. Stop performing stoicism. Start embodying it. Stop using silence as a strategy. Start using it as a natural expression of inner calm. Stop trying to be intense. Start being appropriate to the moment. Stop broadcasting sexual interest prematurely. Start building connection first. These aren't tricks, they're fundamentals, and when you get them right, age becomes irrelevant. Status becomes secondary. Looks become less important. Because what you're offering is something most men can't. Genuine presence, emotional safety, calibrated masculinity. That's what turns heads. That's what keeps attention. That's what builds real attraction. If this video gave you clarity you haven't heard anywhere else, make sure you like the video and subscribe to this channel. We break down psychology, attraction, power dynamics, and the truths most people are too uncomfortable to talk about. And don't stop here. Check out the other videos on this channel, because the next one might explain the exact signal you've been missing, the one that's been costing you opportunities without you even realizing it. See you in the next video.